Hey, wrestling fans. Welcome to One Winged Wrestling, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Winged Wrestling, we bring elite wrestling to you. I'm your host, Bill Cutbush, and once again, Mr. Krishna Denai is not around. I have it on good authority. See, I'm going to tell you a story. The other night, we were sitting there, it was Christmas. Family was all, partying. We all had our food. We were just chilling on a couch. And I was watching some stardom on my phone. And I said to him, hey, you got to check this out. And I showed him the Mel Tier entrance. Now, if any of you do not know Mel Tier's entrance, please, right now, go Google it. Head to YouTube, look up Mel Tier's entrance. See, I'm almost positive that Krishna wanted to learn the song and that he is practicing singing it so that he can sing it along with them while watching their entrance. I'd say he'd try to learn the dance, but trust me, we're talking Krishna here. That ain't happening. So I've got it on good authority. He was unable to make it tonight because he's busy trying to sing Mel Tier's theme song. He's practicing up for Stardom Dream Queendom 2022, which goes down tomorrow. I'm super hyped for that show. Really, really hyped for that show. I will be watching it. And that brings me to this point. We have some bonus episodes coming up on One Winged Wrestling this coming week. I will be reviewing Stardom Dream Queendom 2022. Tomorrow should be up on the 30th on our feed. We will be taking a look at Wrestle Kingdom 17, another bonus review for that. Christian and I will be watching it very shortly after it airs. No, we are not getting up at 1:30 in the morning. I would just fall right back asleep. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. So we will be reviewing it that morning. He's going to chill with me. We're going to watch Wrestle Kingdom, and then we're going to review the show. We'll have that up shortly after that as well. And of course, you'll get our weekly news show, and we'll be back doing Dynamite next week as well, and Dynamite tonight, which brings me to tonight. I will, of course, be previewing the card. Krishna has sent me in his predictions in between takes of his practicing Mel Tier's theme music. So I do have his comments on tonight's matches. We'll see if his come true, and we'll see what my comments are. But tonight, AEW Dynamite is coming to us from the First Bank Center in Broomfield, Colorado. It is the AEW New Year's Smash show. And, right off the top, I looked at this card and I looked at the poster that AEW put up. There isn't one single mention of so and so is going to talk. So and so is going to talk. So and so is going to. Are we actually going to have an episode of AEW wrestling and not AET talking? That would be great because I'm getting a little bit tired of the continuous long promo, long celebration segments, scissoring segments, championship celebration. Someone's going to talk. I'm tired of it. I just want to watch wrestling. So this means I'm more hyped for tonight's show than I think I've been in for a Dynamite in a little while because, well, first of all, we do have a couple really big matches on this show, and it's all wrestling. I don't care if it's mediocre wrestling. At least it's not a couple guys standing around talking. I mean, that Swerve segment last week, really? Come on. Swerve, you're better than that. Hopefully that stays to the wayside. Anyway, we start off tonight TNT Championship match. Samoa Joe, the champion, taking on Wardlow. Now, Krishna has passed along that he's not hyped for this match at all, that he hopes Joe wins. I cannot agree more. I hope Joe wins this match. I sadly don't think he's going to. I think Wardlow's getting his title back. I mean, what else do you do with Wardlow? He loses to Samoa Joe, unless they're setting Wardlow up for another big feud somewhere else. But I mean, they built this guy up into like this big monster not long ago, especially after his feud with MJF, and now they've done almost nothing with the guy. Um, Look, I'm not the biggest Wardlow fan. I am not going to be like signing up for the Wardlow fan club. I am not going to be going out to watch all of his matches. I will not be ranking any of them higher than about 3 stars ever, unless he actually shows he can do more than that. I did see some surprise out of that match with the three-way with Brian Cage and Samoa Joe. I did enjoy him in that match. So he has potential to get better, and I'm hoping he does. But I don't want another TNT title reign from him. I really don't. I'm tired of powerbomb symphonies. But I have a feeling he's going to beat Samoa Joe tonight. If he doesn't beat Samoa Joe, it's because they're setting him up for another feud. Well, that takes us to Ethan Page taking on Bryan Danielson. Now, I think this match is going to be excellent. Now, why? Ethan Page, as Krishna and I have said fairly often, is pretty, he's average in the ring. He's a good wrestler. He's a good hand. He can wrestle, right? But he's not blowing the roof off the buildings. There's just something about his style that I find it's there. It's not going to excite me a lot. It's just good. He's also not going to disappoint me. He's just good. You get what you get with Ethan Page. I haven't seen anything he's done that makes me think more than that. But Bryan Danielson, right? I mean, we're talking one of the best wrestlers ever to walk the face of the planet, storyteller, and knows how to put on a really solid match with almost anyone. I think we're going to see an Ethan Page tonight that we haven't seen before. I think this match is going to be insanely good for Ethan Page. So, is it going to be match of the night? No. Could it cross the 4-star threshold? Heck yes. You've got Bryan Danielson in the match. That's not hard to do. So I think it's also going to depend if we get any shenanigans in this match. If this is a clean match and these guys go at it, we could have a really good wrestling match. If there's a bunch of shenanigans from Ethan Page's the new faction, the Firm, which there might very well be, if there's a bunch of shenanigans from MJF, then because he's not on this card, and I'm sure he's going to show up somewhere. It's New Year's Smash, so that could bring this whole match down a notch. But the two guys alone, I'm hyped. Without shenanigans, with shenanigans, I you know how I feel about MJF. I'd rather he just was never on the card anymore. And the Firm, Stokely showed some signs of being a lot funnier last week, but still, it's the Firm, right? Anyway, Krishna says this match will be okay. He just said that Ethan Page, not sure how good he is compared to Bryan, and we will see. So yeah, he's kind of got a wait and see approach to this match. I can understand his tentativeness. So anyway, that brings us to Top Flight, which is of course Darius and I almost said Darius Kasparaitis. That would have been hilarious. Dante and Darius Martin, Darius Kasparaitis. Oh, I amuse myself sometimes. Anyway, we have Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley. Okay, this is going to be a really good match because this is a chance for Top Flight to shine. They're not winning, but they're going to shine. Because Castagnoli and Moxley, I think, still are going to kick their asses. Those guys are both really hard to put down, and they're not going down. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of good moves. There's going to be a lot of good hard hitting spots. I want to see how resilient Top Flight can be. This is a chance for Top Flight to show they are a top tag team. So, how well can you go against two of the toughest competitors in AEW? I think that the story in this match is going to be what sells it. I think this could, I agree, Krishna says as well, may steal match of the night. I also think it could steal match of the night, not because of the moves. I bet Krishna thinks it is because, he's got his flippy dudes in there and that, the spots are going to make it match of the night. I'm going to go on my side. I love my stories. I think that the story of Top Flight trying to overcome the Blackpool Combat Club, and the Blackpool Combat Club is all about teaching the kids, teaching them how you've got to be able to step up to that next level, like Wheeler Yuta did, to actually excel in wrestling. So I think this match is going to be awesome. So does Krishna. We'll see what happens. We then have a women's tag match. We have Ruby Soho and Willow Nightengale taking on the JAS pair of Anna JAS and Ty Mello. Yeah, I can't say I'm super hyped for this match. Is it going to be good? Probably. But I mean, I've got a lot of other women's matches in the back of my head right now with Dream Queendom coming up tomorrow that, yeah, I'm looking at this going, yeah, that looks okay. But I've been spoiled recently. I mean, Anna and Tay, they've come a long way over the last year. Tay especially has improved. Ty especially has improved. She's doing much better than she used to. And she's got a good hard hitting style now. Ruby Soho is excellent in the ring. Willow Nightengale is very good in the ring. So you've got 4 people in this match who can at least do decently well. The match itself could be good. Story wise, I'm not sure. It seems a little bit thrown together. I don't really feel a backstory in this match much. I know Ruby Soho and Ty have been going at it, and the whole broken nose thing, but I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me. So could it be a good match? Sure. Am I hyped for it? Not really. This isn't Hikaru Shida at all versus Jamie Hayter. So yeah. And then we have match number 6 of the AEW World Trios Championship Best of 7 series. Match 6 is Falls Count Anywhere. Death Triangle is up 3 matches to 2. Do we really think the Elite is losing this match tonight? Do we really think that we're not getting the TLC match to top this whole thing off? Or the ladder match, rather, to top the Escalera de Muerte to top this whole thing off? Anyone who thinks that the Elite is losing this match tonight probably hasn't watched wrestling ever in their lives. So yeah, anyway, the outcome's kind of predictable. I am beginning to tire on these matches just a little bit. Like, I love all 6 of these guys to death. They are 6 of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But I'm beginning to fatigue on constant fighting. Fight forever is just a chant. I don't really want anyone to fight forever. I will eventually get bored. We need some breaks, like they need to do something really unique, really different, really original. But we're almost to the point where, because we know all 6 of these guys are great wrestlers, we're now relying on spots, right? Last week, we had the, what do you call it? No DQ match, right? This week, we've got Falls Count Anywhere. Next week, we've got a ladder match. They're really relying on spots now to sell this. Because what more do you do with the story, right? We had a story building through it a little bit. I mean, with Rey Fenix not wanting to cheat, them using the hammer, etc. Well, they took that and now they've turned it into 3 matches where you can just use the hammer if you want to, essentially, right? And it's just designed around spots now. I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, the injury angle really wasn't there much last week. I want to see a little more story out of these, not spots. I know Krishna will call it match of the night just sheerly on spots alone. And it may be the match of the night sheerly on spots alone. But I'm not as hyped for this match as I have been for previous ones. I mean, the match when they were, I think back when I was waiting for them to come out at the last pay-per-view. And when they came out, it was just the most amazing thing ever. The Elite versus Death Triangle. And what a match. What a match. All right. The second one, really good. Third one, I thought was still like amazing. One of the best of the series because of the storytelling. And then it starts to get, decent. They've been good. I've loved them, but I haven't loved them. My hype level's not as high because we're getting it every single week. Is it going to be match of the night? Well, I've already said, yeah, it probably will be. Krishna says, Trios Fall Count Anywhere will be match of the night. Just these guys, hype level 11. I'm not sure what he meant by just these guys. And does it mean that the only people in the universe he cares about are just these guys? I'm not sure. Maybe he's starting to tie his words up, trying to constantly sing Meltier's theme song. I'm not sure. But anyway, so there we go. That is going to be AEW Dynamite tonight, the New Year's Smash. We will see if it is, in fact, smash or trash. That was a terrible line. I apologize to all my listeners for that line. Smash or trash. I'm never doing it again. Lies. Anyway, I am going to go off now and watch this show. Krishna will also be watching it. We will be back to review it afterwards. And then we will be letting you guys know what we thought of all of these wonderful matches. So we will be talking to you soon. Enjoy Dynamite. And that was Dynamite. Of course, we are now much later. We have managed to find Krishna. I have it on good authority that he was, in fact, practicing singing Meltier's song, which has been released now on iTunes. So I'm sure that he's just been listening to it on repeat. The music video is now up on Stardom's YouTube page. He's just been going nuts over this ever since I showed him the entrance, as I was talking about in the pre-show.
You are correct. I actually have been singing Dave Meltzer's song, so thanks for bringing that up.
No, Meltier.
Dave Meltzer has come out with a new album, singing his song. So yeah, it's great.
Nice try. You just don't want to admit you're deeply enamored of the
Closet
entire
Melter
Natsupoi
fan.
Tom
Yeah.
Nakano team, right? Okay. Well, we had an episode of Dynamite that happened,
We
and
did.
we are now going to have a look at it. And it came to us tonight, AEW New Year's Smash from the First Bank Center in Broomfield, Colorado. We had Taz, Excalibur, and Tony on commentary, and it starts right off with a match. Yes, as I said in the pre-show, I had high hopes this was not going to be an episode of AE Talking, and in fact, it was mostly wrestling. So that was
Yeah.
pretty good. So, unfortunately, though, just before this match starts, MJF interrupts it, and he's up there with some woman whom I'm assuming is his fiance. I
No, it
don't know.
wasn't. There was
It was
I heard about this, and no, it's some actual wrestler.
okay.
But no, that's not his fiance.
Yeah, well, he's up there with someone, I don't care who. And then I got this horrible flash that he was going to do like on the mic commentary over the PA system for like half the match. Fortunately, he just said some
Yeah,
stupid things at the beginning, and this allowed Ethan Page to get the
stopped.
quick advantage. But Danielson comes back almost immediately with a flying elbow strikes, some kicks, a brutal stomp to the Achilles tendon. But Page takes him down with an elbow and slows it down some with some strikes and a body slam. Page goes for a superplex, but Danielson headbutts him off the ropes and lands a missile drop kick. Stokely tries to distract Danielson, but Danielson dodges and Page dodges Page and then sends Page to the floor, nailing a tope suicida. Stokely distraction works this time, though, and Page lands a pump kick on Danielson. Page takes control for a while with punches. Danielson comes back with yes kicks, a through the ropes drop kick, but Page is pulled out of the way by Stokely, sending Danielson crashing on the knee from the apron. Page throws him into the stairs, back in the ring, lands a cutter for two. Danielson reverses a pull-up slam attempt into a DDT and a kneeling thrust kick for two. He locks in the LeBell lock, but Page squirms his way to the ropes. Danielson shows some fatigue as he gets back to his feet. He goes to the top, but Page knocks him, tries for an avalanche slam, but Danielson reverses it into the hammer and anvil elbows, but to no avail. Page lands the avalanche power slam, but only manages a 2 count. Page gets him up in the ego's edge, but Danielson fights out, landing a big Busaiku knee, followed by head stomps and what looked like a variation of an Indian deathlock, and Page is out cold. What'd you think, Krishna?
Yeah, I was saying that I'm not really a big fan of Ethan Page's wrestling abilities, what I've seen recently. However, this match was awesome. This match was just so good. I don't know if it's Danielson, I don't know what it was, but these two guys in the ring just work. Like Ethan Page showing off his strength. Some of these like pop-up like power slams he was doing, I was like, holy shit. Like it actually looked really good. And the back and forth of Danielson, like going after Danielson, the back of Danielson's head, and constantly like Danielson very wobbly trying to get off the top rope and stuff like that. Very well done. And again, this just goes back to showing how good Bryan Danielson actually is, right? This guy, he can have a match with anybody, right? And as we've seen today with Ethan Page, like just pushes them like to the this match was awesome. Like I actually love this match. Yeah, no, I had a great time. The speed on this match, holy cow, it was going and going and going. And the exchanges back and forth, like I love the storytelling with the damage to Danielson's head. Obviously, they're always gonna go for that. But yeah, like everything from even like Stokely walking down the the ramp at the beginning, all angry because Danielson had made fun of his baldness. And he's wearing the hats, and just the look on his face. He's like he just never like not really have been a big Stokely fan, but he's slowly growing on me now. Like it's just so freaking hilarious. And it's his facial expressions and everything. Like he's a perfect like heel manager. He fits in so well. So I was actually very impressed. Yeah, this match was good. Like this match wasn't good. This match was awesome. I really, really like this match.
Yeah, it was a really good match. It was exactly what I said it was going to be in the pre-show. So that's I'm glad my predictions right now are currently 1-0. So yeah, no, it was really good. I enjoyed the story, like you said. Stokely's growing on me too.
Mhm.
I think that it's because he's out from underneath the whole Jade Cargill crap,
Yeah.
and he's actually out with a stable, and he's able to appear with them, and he doesn't have to speak for every one of them, but when he does speak, it can be pretty amusing. Yeah, so no, it was really good. And it's exactly what I thought. When Page is put with the right kind of wrestler to wrestle against, he puts on a really good
Mhm.
match. And
Mhm.
Danielson is that exact kind of wrestler. I mean, well, Danielson could have a good match with anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care who it is, it'll be a good match. He's one of the greatest of all time. So yeah, solid match. Then we followed this up with a Samoa Joe promo. And he says, so many people wonder about the partnership between me and Wardlow. I'm a hunter. I study what I hunt. Every day we were in the trenches together. I took my notes. I know all your moves, everything that made you tick. And eventually I took what was yours. And now you desperately want it back from me. You just didn't do your homework. So it flips to Wardlow, who's actually backstage. The other one was a pre-tape promo. And Wardlow responds, "Look, I'm done with words. It's time for action." So Samoa Joe comes flying out of the back and smashes Wardlow's knee with a pipe. And he says, "You want action?" And of course, now the doctors have to tend to Wardlow after Joe beat the crap out of his knee with a pipe. So
So funny. So freaking I love Samoa Joe. My God, he's so awesome. And the bad guy he plays, so I love like, oh, words. We all these are words. I want and then the whack. Straight across his knee. I was like, holy
you asked for it.
you
You
asked
asked
for it.
for it.
Yep. He's and Joe said, "You wanted action. There's your action." So yeah, no,
Yep.
this was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. I was like, how are they going to get Joe out of losing this match to Wardlow? It's a big thing, right? I'm like, Wardlow's not going to lose clean to Joe for any particular thing. Like, it's there's going to have to be a reason why
Mhm.
he loses. Well, there you go. They set up your reason. He takes out Wardlow's knee with a pipe to the point, and I want everyone to keep this in mind, to the point where Wardlow requires medical attention and there's serious doubt about whether that knee is even capable of being wrestled on tonight. Okay? Just making sure that everyone's aware that's what's happened here. Okay? We then go to Renee in the back with Hangman, the Dark Order, and a doctor. And Renee asks him, how are you doing? Do you have an update on your condition? And Hangman goes, of course you'd want an answer. And then he stopped and goes, sorry, that was rude. And he goes, I wish I had an update, but I don't. So then Renee asks about his interest in the Blackpool combat match, and he gets angry. The doctor tells him that he needs to relax, he needs to stop going after Moxley. And Hangman's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And that was the end of that segment. But we got no more Hangman on the rest of the show.
Yeah, yeah. He's as he said, like they told him if you stay off of it in 2 weeks, you'll be clear. And he's like, oh, so like for LA, I'll be clear. And he was like, they're like, yeah. So
Mhm.
Hangman, so Hangman again being the nicest person in the entire world. He gets angry at Renee because she's married to Mox. And so
Yep.
of course you'd want to know. And he's like, I'm so sorry, that was rude.
Yeah.
Such a freaking Hangman. I love Hangman.
Yep.
And him with the Dark Order. They just they shouldn't work, but they just work so well together.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I like the reminder that hey, Paige, like that's gonna be the big match. It's gonna be probably the main event for the seventh or whatever. No, well maybe not, depending on the
Orange
trios match.
11th.
11th, yeah, right. So yeah, yeah, I'm glad. I like this segment. I just like how nice Hangman always is to everyone. So
I think they
except for
really do
Moxley.
fit together. Yeah, that's true. I think they really do fit
They
together well, though,
do.
because the one common thread they have is all of them are nice guys that are all a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
And so they all gel together really, really well in like the whole Dark Order environment. And Hangman just kind of slides into that perfectly as being like a super nice guy who gets along with these other super nice guys, right? But just almost like a bunch of like almost do wells and stuff like that, right? It's he does well with them
And
as
it's
as
like
kind of like their pinnacle and the example they
yeah.
can all strive to be.
And John Silver just being John Silver, where he was like, no, they didn't say Mox, they said Fox. There's a bunch of foxes in the ring out there.
There's a bunch of foxes in the ring. Oh, I totally missed that. That's awesome. Well, that of course is our segue into the Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli taking on top flight match, Dante and Darius Martin, who I tried to call Darius Martin Darius Kasperitis in the pre-show at least once.
Darius
So yeah,
Gasparitis.
exactly. Anyway, um, so Top Flight tries to take it to the Blackpool Combat Club immediately with topes before the belt, but it backfires. Darius eats a huge uppercut from Castagnoli, and the Blackpool Combat Club takes control as the bell rings. They beat Darius down in the corner. Castagnoli lands the deadweight gut wrench, pulling the shirt off Darius's back. Mox beats him down for a bit, but Darius fights him off the turnbuckle and lands a missile drop kick, tagging Dante, who enters with a diving crossbody on Mox, followed by a drop kick and a standing moonsault for 2. Mox barely looks phased, though, and beats him down, landing hammer and anvil elbows. Darius enters the ring, chop blocking Mox at this point, which leads to a bit of a story around Mox's knee. They throw him outside and go to work on that knee, smashing it into the rail twice. Darius works over Mox for a long time, but Mox finally makes the hot tag. Claudio lands a brutal uppercut series on Dante, then ending it with a drop kick for 2. Claudio goes in for the swing, but Dante reaches the ropes before he can get it. Darius interferes, and he ends up getting the giant swing. But Dante then leapfrogs his brother through, like jumps over him twice and manages to roll Claudio up kind of like in the middle of the giant swing for 2. Darius then lands an assisted DDT. Dante covers for another 2. Dante tags in Darius. They go for the double suplex. Castagnoli powers them both into a double suplex of his own. He charges at Dante, but Dante floats over him, leading to multiple thrust kicks. And Mox explodes in, though, to break up the cover, still favoring his knee. Mox tries to beat them both down, but eats thrust kicks. Claudio takes down Darius and throwing Dante out of the ring. And this is turned. Oh, he throws Dante out of the ring, but Dante turns this into a tope to Mox. How, I don't know. Darius follows up with a one-man Spanish fly to Claudio for 2. Then Darius avoids an uppercut into a backslide for 2. But Castagnoli hits the Gotch pile driver for a huge near fall. I mean, this was like 2.9
Mm-hmm.
near fall. Castagnoli looks surprised and actually starts questioning the ref. The crowd's chanting, "Holy shit." Claudio then lands hammer and anvil elbows. Dante kicks him, but Claudio no sells it and keeps beating it. That was great. Just looks over at Dante and is like, "What are you doing?" and keeps beating on Darius. Mox disposes of Dante. Claudio just keeps going. Mox nails the paradigm shift on Dante on the floor. Darius can barely stand, but tries to hit Castagnoli, who then decks him with a super stiff uppercut for 3. And that's the match. What did you think of this match?
Yeah, this was another awesome match. Like, you know, Darius has been looking great ever since he's come back. I mean, we know he's that word we hate, injury prone, and he also got into car accidents. So I don't know if that's really his fault, but he's been looking absolutely phenomenal. Like his match against Mox last week, back with Dante. I never thought I'd say, I want to see, like, Dante needs to have been a tag team, but man, Top Flight is awesome. They're so good. Um, this match against Blackpool Combat Club, like, this was fantastic. Like, just the way that it was these two hard hitting guys against these two high flyers, and it worked so well. And that's so much credit to Castiglione and Mox, because they're able to sell, they're able to hit, and obviously, well, we know Top Flight, they can sell as well. They do all their their flippity stuff that I love so much, and their tag team, like their tag combinations are so good. So, like, it's just so good. Like, I love this little push that they're getting. I actually thought that Top Flight was going to win this match. At one point, I'm like, oh my god, are the vets actually going to let the kids win here? And even though they lost, they still kind of won, because like these guys are absolutely, like, they're flying up the tag team ranks right now, absolutely flying up the tag team. And even afterwards, you see Mox, like, he had to give the paradigm shift outside to Dante Martin to keep him out of the match, right? And
Mm.
then Castiglione just, like, with the Gotch pile driver, kind of like sitting up, kind of like, what the hell? And then absolutely killed Darius with that uppercut, and you could tell he hit him hard, right? um Again, the vets showing the respect to the kids, and that this was such an awesome match. I love this match.
Oh yeah. This match was even better than the opening match to me. This
Oh yeah,
was like this
yeah.
was this was great. I mean, between Top Flight's moves, like you said, just bang on. But the story in this match was what really got it right. Two young kids who come in, Blackpool Combat Club. We know the Blackpool Combat Club's known for their whole like, okay, we'll teach these kids some things, and they
Hmm.
do end up teaching the kids
Hmm.
some things by the end of it, right? Like, yeah, no matter how hard you wrestle, we still put you down. But damn, you came close to beating us, right? Like they showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of grit. It was a really really strong tag team match. I've been on some of the near falls too.
Yep.
But that's how effective those near falls were, right? Like I also believed Top Flight had a chance in this
Hmm.
match, and once you've got me on that, well, now you can tell a really good story. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Almost my match of the night,
Hmm.
but not
Same.
quite. But
Same.
yeah, it's just an amazing match. Amazing match. They then show a recap of the Battle Royal from Rampage, and Kip Sabian eliminated Orange Cassidy. Kip notes they're all backstage being interviewed. Kip and Penelope on one side, and the best friends with Orange Cassidy on the other. And Kip notes that we've done this dance for far too long. It's about time for the final act where I steal the title. And he gets interrupted by Trent Beretta, who says, "Look, I eliminated you, so I
Yep.
should be getting a title shot before you." Orange Cassidy goes, "Okay, sure." And Trent turns and goes, are you sure? Goes, yeah, and we'll do it on Rampage. So there we go. We now have another very casually set up Orange Cassidy Rampage title defense against Trent Beretta.
Beretta, that's gonna be a good match. Yeah, I still am not understanding Kip Sabian's gimmick. I really don't. Like, and this may fall into like worst gimmick of the year kind of thing, but like I just don't get it. Is he a super villain? Is that why his hair is white and Penelope's hair is white as well? I don't know. And then like he's talking like he's reading a poem as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love how Trent just cuts him off and says, well, by that logic, I eliminated you, so I should have a shot at the belt. Cassidy says, sure, why not? Let's do it.
Yep.
Right. And he's like, are you sure about that? He's like, yeah, we'll do it on Rampage. I like these casual setups for Orange Cassidy matches because you're like, what? Okay.
Yep.
And then the look Trent's just giving him over his shoulder, kind of like, are you sure about this? Like, I can
Yeah.
beat you for the belt kind of thing, right? But yeah, I like that. I just don't like the whole thing about Kip Sabian. Oh, we're coming down to the final thing. Final what? What exactly have you been doing? You jumped Cassidy once, you
Mm-hmm.
eliminated him, but you haven't beaten him in a match or anything like that. So
Exactly.
what are you talking about? Right?
Yep.
What final match? Like, anyways, I just don't get it right now.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm more excited for the Bretta and Cassidy match on
Yeah.
Friday.
It should be good. Yeah. This was fine. I mean, it did what it needed to do. It set up the match, and it had me continue to think, Kip, what are you
What the
doing?
hell? Yeah, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yep.
Agreed.
And then we move to Hook versus Baylum Lynx, who of course is already in the ring.
Hit the ring.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no, I feel like they're doing this though to build up Hook because he
they
was
are.
never on Dynamite. So now they're
They
showing him
are.
to like the Dynamite
Yeah,
only crowd on a
yeah.
regular basis. So he gets off kicks, body shots that look so
They look
stiff, a
good.
big
Yeah.
overhead suplex, forearm shots, the red rum, and it's over. This was complete destruction of
Squash. Yeah.
Baylum Lynx. And yeah.
Yeah, no, this is what it was, you're right. They're trying to push him more because he disappeared for a while. Like I didn't even know where the heck he was. Now he's back. And like they're giving him a bit of a push. Um, sorry, not push. They're pushing him Dynamite. But yeah, no. I thought this match did what it did because it was basically just there to build a story. That's
Yep.
all it was there for.
Oh yeah, and he's so good in the ring. Like
Mm-hmm.
his hits and everything, just everything looks so strong.
Precise. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So then Stokely comes out with what's his name, Lee Moriarty and Big Bill,
Big Bill.
and he goes, "You want to know what's crazy? Somebody wants to tell me that you're a badass," he says to Hook, "but you're not able to get the job done. You're the Southwest Airlines of AEW." So Big Bill and Lee Moriarty start to get in the ring when Jungle Boy Jack Perry comes out and starts a scrap with Moriarty, but that leaves Hook and Bill standing toe to toe.
Oof.
Hook then goes for a T-bone suplex, but he can't get him up, and Bill goes for the choke slam. But at this point, Perry's disposed of Lee. He's got a 2x4, and they beat Bill out of the ring. But even then, Bill looks barely phased as
Mhm.
Jungle Boy and Hook are left in the ring.
Yeah, I like this big like Jungle Boy and Hook aren't the biggest guys in the world, but like
Mm-hmm.
wow, seeing a comparison to Moriarty, not Moriarty, to Morrissey. Holy cow, Morrissey is huge. Oh my god, he's 1 foot taller than these guys.
I'd like to point out he's now being called Big Bill.
Big Bill. Yeah, Big Bill. Um, I just love Stokely when he walked out and he said, every week someone wants to tell me how great Hook is. His fault, your father. And then
Mhm.
then he keeps going, right? The Stokely's awesome on the mic. Like I really think he's doing a good job of who cared about Big Bill or W Morrissey, whatever you want to call him, right? Who cared about him when he came? But now it's kind of like, hey, you know what? I kind of want to see the Jungle Boy and Hook versus these two. That'd be a pretty good kind of brawl kind of match. At one point, man, Jungle Boy took a swing at Morrissey's head with that 2x4. Holy crap! I was like, jeez. But I like it because he pointed to his neck, right? And
Mhm.
they went right back to that power bomb that he gave him onto
Yeah.
the ring apron, right? So I love how they're doing callbacks. I like how they're using these young guys now.
Mhm.
They're not just pushing the older guys and stuff like that. They're pushing their young talent, which is really awesome. So yeah, no, I'm very interested because it's one of those can they slay this giant of a man,
Mhm.
right? So this is cool. No, I like this.
It's certainly the most fascinating I've ever been with Big Bill. So,
Big
so
Bill and
I don't
Hook.
love the change because like it's like, well, you were W Morrissey. Why not just call you Morrissey?
Mhm.
Okay, that's like that. I'd be fine with that. So he's Morrissey, or I
Yeah.
don't know, give him some name. Big Bill. It's too much of a throwback to Big Cass, you know. And I mean, to
Yeah.
be quite honest, I've almost forgotten the dude was Big Cass
Yeah,
when he comes out
exactly.
now, right? Like
Yeah.
I realized it last night after, I'm like, wait a second, that guy was Big
He
Cass,
was
and
Big
I'm like,
Cass.
oh yeah, it's like slowly but surely that's fading from my mind, and he's just becoming Big Bill.
Yep.
So yeah. Then we get a promo and Jericho recap and promo. So they note that Jericho was beaten by Action Andretti. They note that Ricky Starks turned down the JAS and that Jericho gave Fireball to Action Andretti's face.
Mhm.
So we go to Jericho in the back and he says, Starks, you turned down the opportunity of a lifetime turning down the JAS. Instead, you mocked us, but I call you foolish, small minded. You're a flash in the pan. You have the arrogance and confidence of a superstar, but you don't have the tools. I'm one of the greatest ever to do this. And on January 4th, I'm going to school you. I'm going to take you to the top of the mountain and the bottom of the ocean and back. I am a wizard. And if you doubt that, ask Action Andretti, who took a fireball to the face. And Andretti, go back to the Indies. I'm going to embarrass Starks and put an end to the Starks experiment.
Yeah, this is again just Jericho putting over these young guys, right? Like I love the whole Action Andretti. Yeah, you're the biggest thing of your career is beating me. Now go back to the Indies where you belong, kind of thing, right? Um, yeah, I think Jericho's losing that match unless they are gonna have like a feud going with Jericho and Starks, which might be smart to do actually for now. But if they don't, if this is a one and done, then Starks is fully beating Jericho in that match,
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
which
I suspect Starks beating him too.
yeah, which is kind of cool because again Jericho is pushing the AW. They're doing such a good job right now pushing their young talent. Um, so yeah, it's a good promo. Again, Jericho just complimenting the heck out of these guys. Everything they're doing, he's just like the backhanding, complimenting them. So yeah, I Jericho doing again, great job,
Right.
Jericho.
And I mean, let's face it, AEW is going to need some stuff to do on January the 4th when we know Kenny Omega will not be in the
He will
building.
not. He will not.
So then we get a recap of the formation of the Mogul affiliates.
Oh yes, yes.
Renee just says, disgusting. She said some more stuff, but I'm just sticking with disgusting because that also encapsulates what I thought of the formation of the Mogul affiliates. Swerve says, oh no, that was beautiful. I got rid of someone without the same vision as me, and I replaced him with two people who get it. And he introduces his two grunts. Wheeler Yuta then comes in and says, look, you're insulting someone who's not even here to defend himself. But I'm not surprised. And, it's not because of the violence that you guys have, because the Blackpool Combat Club loves violence, which will show you, let's fight on Rampage. And Swerve is like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Again, another setup for Rampage. Swerve versus Yuta. That's gonna be a pretty good match. Um, I love how Swerve doesn't even introduce the new guy that everyone is kind of like, who the F is this guy? He's like, here's this guy. And then you'll learn about this other guy. We're like, what? What the
Yeah.
hell? All right. Okay, Swerve. Yeah, I'm excited for the match. I want to see Swerve in action. these backstage things have been falling pretty flat recently. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where they're going with the storyline, to be honest with you. Again, a lot of factions. They didn't need it. Sort of didn't need a group there, but they've given him one.
Especially not this group.
Yeah, not these guys. Like, who the hell are these guys? Like, really, who the
Yeah.
hell are these guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Parker Boudreaux and that other guy. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm just more excited for the match with Swerve and Yuta.
Yes, as long as it doesn't turn into a showcase for the two idiots.
The two guys.
Yes. Well, then we go to the Elite taking on Death Triangle. And before they can even start talking about bringing them out, the fight has broken out in the back in a hall. And this is where we get like a classic backstage brawl between these two teams. Trash cans, crates. Pat gives a brainbuster to Kenny on a stack of skids, and then a moonsault off some shelving to the Bucks. Matt body dropped Ray through a table. Nick with a somersault dive off the shelving to Penta through a table where he covers him on the broken table for 2. The fight then moves out to the entrance ramp area. The Bucks super kick Pac and Penta, but Ray does a tornillo off the top of the entrances, taking out the Bucks. But then Kenny comes out of nowhere out of the entrance with a massive V trigger. But Pac then responds with a German to Omega. Matt breaks up the pin. Pat goes for a suplex, but Matt reverses into the Northern Lights and goes down the ramp doing the series of Northern Light suplexes. Ray runs over to try to help him, but Matt catches him too. But before he can land the double Northern Lights, Nick goes flying over him and takes down Penta, who was behind Matt. And then Nick and Matt, once they get the Lucha Brothers back in the ring, they go for the turnbuckle punches, but the Lucha Brothers dump them to the outside. Death Triangle now takes control, beating all 3 members of the Elite down for a while. They isolate Kenny in the ring. They put a trash can over his head, symbolically showing how Ospreay will take out the trash on January the 4th. They kick him in the can, which is a move I have always found odd. I mean, honestly, isn't the can kind of like wearing armor? So they kick a can that has tons of room between the can and the person. Anyway, Pac takes it to Kenny, but on an Irish whip, Kenny floats over him, and Nick attacks Pac with kicks, but he's stopped by a sling blade. We then get a waterfall series from all of them that ends in a snapdragon from Kenny on Pac, followed by a trash can shot. Kenny puts the can over Pac's head and lands the V trigger, followed by a Dr. Bomb onto the can, which is now completely flat for 2. Kenny sets up for the one-winged angel, but Penta drags him out and hits an assisted fear factor to Kenny on the floor, but the Bucks break up the pin. Ray fights off both Bucks in the ring with a Hurricane Rana and a cutter, and then lands a Tope Suicida on Kenny and Nakamura on the outside. Penta goes for a fear factor to Nick on the apron, but he reverses it. They set up for a Meltzer driver on the floor, but Pac breaks up the pin at the last possible second. It might have been an indie taker. I'm not sure if he did the flip in the air or not when he landed it, so it may have been an indie taker on the floor. My mistake. Back in the ring, Pac pump kicks Matt, goes for the Black Arrow. Matt dodges and Nick throws a chair in his face and then another chair in Penta's face. They land the BTE trigger on Penta, but Pac breaks up the pin. So the Bucks try and set up Pac, but Nick hits Matt with a super kick. You will notice right now we're barely talking about Ray and Kenny, who are outside the ring fighting somewhere up the ramp, I'm presuming. They don't show them very often on the TV part. So the Bucks tried to set up Pac, but Nick hits Matt with the super kick accidentally. So now Pac locks in the brutalizer in the middle of the ring. There is nowhere whatsoever for Nick to go. But meanwhile, outside, Kenny has taken an exhausted Ray up the ramp, beaten him down, and then puts him through a table from the stage with a one-winged angel and covers him for 3. Pac is completely confused when the thing goes off and the music starts because he thought he had the match won. And that was the match. It is now a 3-3 series with a rather massive looking one-winged angel. What did you think?
What a one-winged angel. What a one-winged angel. Like, you know, you want the best in the world. You want the greatest of all time. Like this guy, oh my God. Like that V trigger. These guys, like they should just win an award, the 6 of these guys, just in general, because of what they've done in this 7-match thing, right? Or 6 matches so far, I should say. Yeah, every time I'm always like, what are they going to do different? What are they going to do different? How's it going to be different from the last one? And I always ask the question, like, you know, when you have all these like matches of Falls Count Anywhere, all these like, you know, no holds bar matches, like, what if multiple people pin at the same time, what would happen, right? And
Mhm.
they showed it, right? They
Right.
like Pac had Matt beaten in the ring in the brutalizer. And as they show that, they show Kenny and Ray, and I was like, oh my god, Ray's gonna take this bump, holy crap. um and he does, he takes it, and you're like, holy
Yeah,
crap.
I know,
Like,
right?
these guys, oh my god. And obviously match of the night, like, this was
Yeah.
so good. This was such, I love how the match doesn't even start, they're already fighting in the back room, right? Like, when I saw Don Callis, I'm like, what's Don Callis doing out here? And then they just go back to the back, they're already fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like, I don't even know what to say. Like, they are probably six of the best wrestlers you can ever get in a ring, and they've done this consistently for the past month, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to say. Like bravo, guys. Like, regardless, like, we know the elite are not losing. Hopefully, not we're not losing. Like the seventh one. At this point, who knows, right? Um, but wow, what a match! Like, now, but it's the Escalera de Muerte,
De
Muertes.
Muerte.
Yeah,
Yes.
is it the
Escalera de Muerte. Ladder of
of
Death.
death. The next match. Oh my god! Like, I don't even want to know what they have in store. But yeah, no, amazing match of the night for me, obviously. Like, Kenny and the Bucks and Death Triangle, they're so good. um and yeah, no, like if you want to watch like match perfection, like, these guys, like, they're just so freaking good. Like, even like their mistakes are like, was that a botch? I don't even know if that was a botch or not. Like, what was that? Right? But no, like, the entire match, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, the entire match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love this match. It's match of the night easily.
Oh yeah. 100% match of the night. And like I was saying in the pre-show, well, you were busy practicing Meltier, Tom Nakano,
Dave Meltzer
and
song. Yep,
Nuts the
yep.
Boys theme song. I need to clarify now because apparently I'm saying Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer
Um,
song. Yep.
I was saying in the pre-show, you know, I'm starting to get a bit of match fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Between these six guys, I'm starting to feel a bit of match fatigue. Oh, these guys are fighting again, right? And I'm like, they really need to come up with something very different for me to be like, oh man, that was amazing, right? Because even though they're the six best wrestlers in the world, six of the best of all time in that ring, it's like, okay, guys, I'd just like to see something a little different now. But no, they pulled it off. So yeah, match of the night. Great job, guys. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I'm not sure if it would be like, I don't know if it's certainly not my favorite of the series, but it was good. It was
It was
really,
really good.
really
Yeah.
good. I had a wonderful time watching it. I was thoroughly entertained. I loved the finish. The finish
Oh, the
was
fish is amazing.
so good because I'm
Absolutely
like,
amazing.
how are they going to get out of this? And all of a sudden they shift the camera to Kenny with Ray, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh,
this is
that's
how
how.
they're getting out of it.
That's how.
Gotcha. Okay. And then he just absolutely destroys Ray Phoenix. It was one of the most brutal looking one winged angels I think I've ever seen. So yeah, yeah. Kudos to Ray. Way to take the move, dude. I hope you can walk today because
Yeah.
ouch. Um, so anyway, yeah, great match, great time, lots of good moves, lots of stuff happened. I didn't love the opening because like backstage brawls, I'm not real enamored with the whole like we're gonna throw trash at each other stuff. But once they got out on the stage, man,
The ramp. Yeah.
that V trigger, holy. Anyway, yep. So match of the night easily. Um, then we followed it up with an acclaimed rap video. They rap about Jeff Jarrett's career. That's my summary.
Yeah. That was the response. I'm assuming Max Caster's injured is the reason why they're not like fighting or something like that.
Who
My
knows?
assumption. But yeah, they just rapped about his career. They made a lot of comments where I was like, I don't even know what you're referencing right now,
They
right?
were referencing a lot of Jeff Jarrett's career moments, like Global Championship Wrestling and a bunch of other
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like a
I I,
bunch
I
of it
did
was
I did
aimed at Jeff Jarrett's
I
career.
did laugh at the attack on what's his name, Jay Lethal, because they did say he has like a 20-year career, and he
Mm-hmm.
likes to imitate everyone, but no one's imitating him, kind of thing. And
Yes.
I was like, okay.
That's
Poor,
rich
poor,
coming
poor,
from
poor the
Billy
Macho
Gunn
Man,
and Road Dogg.
my job.
You
Yeah,
know,
but like, I didn't, like, I didn't get it. So apparently the fans really loved it. Because that's all I was
They
seeing on
did.
Twitter was like everyone was like, oh my god, the Acclaim destroyed Jeff Jarrett, but no one cares about Jeff Jarrett. So who cares, right? Who cares if they destroyed Jeff Jarrett? I don't care. But yeah, that was it. Like that was it. Like I didn't even know. Like I was shocked they didn't announce that the Acclaimed were having a rap video. Just dropped it on us. I was like, what? Because normally they do a big build up. Oh my god, next
Oh
week
yeah,
we're gonna
because these
have
are huge, right?
the
I mean,
Acclaimed
oh, the
rap
next
videos.
rap video. Yeah. Do I need to remind people that once upon a time, I believe Jeff Jarrett was involved in a little something called Rap is Crap?
That's right. He was him and Kurt Hennig.
Yes, it was pretty great. It was pretty great. I think we need a rewrite of that song for 2022. Max Caster's raps are crap. Anyway, we then get TJAS, which is apparently what their official team name is now, according to the banner underneath them. So I'm sorry, I keep calling her Tay because it rhymes with
I
J, and they keep making me say J, and then Tay is spelled the same way, but it's Ty.
Ty JS.
Ugh. Anyway, I know it's Ty Conti. I'm sorry, Ty, but I keep calling you Tay, and that's terrible. Anyway, Ty JAS is taking on Ruby Soho and Willow Nightengale. Things get interesting in this match after a sad twerk battle between Ty and Willow when Ruby tags herself in, thank God, much to Willow's chagrin. But then Ty bails and tags in Anna. But Anna gets hammered by Ruby and then Willow. They do an assisted Cazadora splash that looks kind of weak. Willow
Mhm.
goes for a tag after Anna kicks out of a crossbody, but Ty pulls Ruby off the apron. Anna reverses Willow, getting her into their corner where they work her over with strikes and kicks and a double snap suplex. Willow tries a roll up, but Ty gets out and lands a vicious kick. They continue with the double team on Willow, but they're unable to put her away. Willow finally lands a lariat on Anna, and they both tag out. Ruby spears Ty and then lands a series of hard forearms until Ty goes down. She drives Ty's face into the turnbuckle. Anna tries to interfere, but Ruby drops her too. She then lands the no future on Ty, but only gets a 2 count. Willow takes down Anna, but Ty drops Willow, and all four women are down. Ruby sends Ty into a kick from Willow, lands a backdrop, but Anna breaks up the pin. Anna sends Willow out to the apron, but Ty hits the DD tie to Ruby, but Willow shoves Anna into the pin, breaking up a close near fall. Willow suplexes Anna outside while Ruby and Ty exchange chops in the ring. This gets followed by headbutts. Like they exchange headbutts until Ruby falls
Mhm.
onto Ty for a 2 count. It's kind of a cool spot.
Mhm.
Anna throws Willow into the ring post outside. Anna tries to attack Willow with a chair outside, but Aubrey grabs it. But this distraction allows Ty to nail Ruby with another chair by throwing the chair into her face, kicking it, and then landing the Ty KO for 3. And Ty ends by giving the crowd the finger. Well, Tony talks about how classy she is.
Yeah. This match was good. I didn't it started off like I was like, okay, this is a little weak here and there, but then when it got going, it got going. These four are actually pretty good in the ring. It's weird seeing Ruby Soho with her nose now because you can see that it's been reconstructed. It doesn't look the same as it looked before. So I'm like, oh yeah, you can see like that's not the same nose that you had earlier. But hey, you know what? She's back. She's wrestling. I like the ending because I wanted these two to win because it made sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because hey, Ty Conte, she can or sorry, Ty Mello, she can like that pump kick that she does. Holy crap! Every time I'm like that looks like it hurts a lot. So I did like like they played perfect the heel shenanigans like they normally should do, but they wrestled. They actually wrestled. I thought sometimes that the match got a little weak when Willow was in the ring with Ty and Anna. Um, it could be because they're also green, but again, Ty's they're getting better. Like I must say, they actually are all getting better. It's when Ruby was in the ring with some of these ladies that it actually looks like it was really good, really odd. Like that, like the tag in like for some reason that it angered Willow, and then they were like, okay, it's fine. I was like, that's really odd spot. You guys just
Yeah.
tagging for the first time. I don't understand this. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
no, I did not hate this match. I thought that this match was well done. Good finish. It continues their storyline. It continues that Anna JAS and Ty Mello are gonna be the heels that I guess gonna keep going up against these guys. Like whichever tag team comes out of this, because I know Sky Blue and Nightingale and now Nightengale and Soho, and who knows who else is coming up here, right? But hey, the women are getting matches in here, so great, right? I mean, probably, well, I guess this you could have had a title match. I mean, but I guess last week when they had that match between Hater and Sheeta, I guess that they need a little break from that. So no, this was a good match. Them on there. They did well. And yeah, I like this match.
Yeah, no, it was quite good. I
Mhm.
enjoyed watching it. The wrestling was good.
Mhm.
Except, like you said, there were those slow points. I agree with your slow points. It's like a little bit slow when they were both working over Willow.
Mhm.
Ruby's a better wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Willow's good, but she's not great, whereas Ruby is very good.
Yes.
Ty has come a long way. I
Mhm.
say this every time I see her wrestle, but my God, is she so much better. And Anna's getting better too. I think all these reps being in the ring every week with like decent wrestlers and stuff has helped her out a lot. So yeah, I enjoyed this match. The story I found a little, like you said, a little weird. I didn't really understand like what's with all this twerking crap at the beginning and then like the tag out and like why are you mad at Ruby? I don't
Yeah, I didn't get that. I
understand.
didn't understand that.
Um yeah, and just yeah, there was a little bit of stuff where I was kind of like, huh? But I mean, the end was fine. They cheated to win. They're the JAS. That's what they do. So yeah, it was fine for what it was in
Made
the
sense.
card.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep. And we get Lexi backstage with the guns, and they have a reservation they're going to celebrate beating FTR. Do they realize that that did not happen today?
I
Did
know.
they not make reservations before and already go to a celebratory dinner? I don't know. Anyway, they will address their beating FTR next week on the show. You know why next week on the show? Because they need to fill a show that has no Kenny Omega, and they know damn right well FTR will be in Japan defending their belts.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Right. So it's kind of like and next week, if you remind everyone, is the new improved AEW. It's like new Coke, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you saw those
Oh
lasers
no,
that they had going through
new
the
Coke.
graphics. Yeah, those lasers that they had,
Yeah.
those cool graphics. Yeah. So I'm very very curious to find out what this new AEW is gonna look like.
Laser
Um,
show.
but it's just kind of sucks that Kenny's not going to be there, but hey, Kenny's going to be somewhere else. But yeah, you're right. They got to fill that. They got to fill that show.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Dude, if they put big floating laser graphics on the screen when people come out like in the middle of the air or something like that for the at-home viewers, I'm going to scream.
What are you talking about? Can we just have like a giant Kenny Omega just standing there as he walks below him? No, no one wants to see that. Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
some people apparently do want to see that. So yes. When are you getting the cardboard cut out for your room, by the way?
oh, Kenny soon. I have the obviously the action figures. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I saw a Kenny Omega wrestling buddy that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to buy for my nephew, but
For your
it's
nephew.
really for me. It's really for me.
Yep. Yeah, you need one of those life-size cardboard cutouts that can
Just
just stand there when you walk
stand
into your
beside
room.
it all the time.
Yep.
Be like, Kenny, you're so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So we go to the back with Renee again, and she's back there with Ricky Starks, and he says he feels a lot better than Action Andretti, and I'll get revenge for him in Seattle next week on Chris Jericho. Starks said Jericho doesn't like that Starks can think for himself. There is no experiment to be had, though. January 4th is going to be a masterclass in Starks whipping Jericho's ass. The legend himself. Stark says, I've got a big mouth and a bad attitude, and I'm the one who will take Jericho down several notches because I can.
Yeah, this was like more of a more subdued Ricky Starks promo because like he was saying all these things, but he's very calm about it, right? He wasn't very angry or animated, I should say. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, just reminding everyone about the match that's set up for next week. It's probably going to be the main event, right? So yeah, great. He's going to get revenge for Action Andretti, which I'm kind of like Jericho knows always that Action Andretti signed to AEW, right? He doesn't have to go back to the
Go
Indies.
back to the Indies.
I was like, what? But no, the Stark promo again. This is just progressing the story, which is fine.
Yep.
I'm okay with this.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was fine too. But you're right, it was very subdued, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, like for Starks, it was kind of subdued. It was
Yeah.
just, it was there. It was there. I guess it did what it needed to do. Well, it's time for the main event. It is Samoa Joe versus Wardlow, and Samoa Joe comes out first. but Wardlow does not come out when his music hits. You know why Wardlow doesn't come out when his music hits? Because apparently he's got a knee injury that is so bad the doctors don't even want him to come to the ring. Okay? Samoa Joe has wrecked the man's knee. I just want to once again reiterate this. Okay? And Joe gets the mic then and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, your one true king of television." Best intro ever. It looks like Wardlow is suffering from stage fright. He then insults the Denver Broncos, and Wardlow then comes to the ring because I guess Wardlow's a big Broncos fan. That's what sent him over the edge. Ooh, he's dissing the Broncos. So he's coming to the ring against medical advice as all these people don't know, don't go, don't go. But anyway, they go at it. Wardlow takes it to Joe out of the gate, beating him down, though sometimes still favoring the leg. Joe finally grabs Wardlow in the corner, slams him down, and he goes for chops. But Wardlow clotheslines him down, followed up by the classic corner shoulder blocks, also known as big guy move number 3. But Joe comes back with a knee breaker, and Wardlow collapses outside the ring. The doctors check on Wardlow's knee for a long time. I mean, this knee is a mess. Wardlow gets up and the ref starts the 10 count. He steps to the ropes, but Joe wrenches the knee on the ropes until Wardlow falls out again. Wardlow finally rolls in a second time on Ocho, but Joe returns to working the knee. Wardlow climbs to his feet again, but Joe sets him on the turnbuckle, goes for a superplex, but Wardlow beats him off, going to the top and hitting a senton atomico, but he can't capitalize. I was a little perplexed at this time by his ability to stand on the rope and actually launch himself off with that leg. But okay, he lands, he's still holding the leg. So now I'm like, okay, there's an awesome story going on here, right? Wardlow valiantly struggling back against this horrible, horrible leg that is keeping him down, right? They've been telling this story all night leading up to the main event. But then Wardlow gets up and he starts to hit German suplexes to Joe. German suplexes.
Yeah, German suplexes. Yep.
Yeah. To a guy Joe's size on that leg. And then he runs across the ring. Right now, don't get me wrong. Look, I know adrenaline is a possibility, but this injury is supposed to be like I've emphasized all night how bad this injury was. The doctors didn't want him to compete. They wanted him to stop again. He spent like a chunk of the commercial break outside having his knee checked again. This isn't ordinary working on a joint. This is next level wrecking of a knee. And Wardlow is now acting like it's fine. So he then climbs the moats and hits the moats. He climbs the ropes and hits a standing back moonsault on Joe. He then remembers his knee for a moment, but gets up. He headbutts Joe, lariat, but Joe kicks out at 2. Joe sweeps his leg, and Wardlow gets up more easily than he had earlier in the match. It's like the dude is now completely forgotten he's supposed to be selling a knee. Joe puts him on the turnbuckle again, but Wardlow power bombs him and walks in the ring with no limp. The dude is not even limping at this point. He goes through the powerbomb symphony, and now finally his knee collapses out from under. I mean, finally, bunch of German suplexes, powerbomb spot, multiple top rope spots. The knee's fine. This is what gave it out, finally. So Joe chop blocks him, locks in the coquina clutch, and Wardlow goes out. Joe wins. I'll get to the aftermatch after, but what'd you think of the actual match?
So in Wardlow's defense, like those German suplexes, they sucked, right? So my assumption was that, hey, it must be the knee that's doing it. And you're right. You know what? I didn't mind the selling. Like you're right. There were some points where he forgot and then he remembered, because when he did that backflip off the top rope, they came down. They had to point out, oh my God, he landed on the knee, and then he kind of favored the knee a little bit.
But didn't you point out he's like, oh no, wait, he actually kind of landed on the other knee. Is both of his knees going to be hurt? And it was just ridiculous.
But no, it was the right knee. So because he did kind of land on the other knee, but what they said was he kind of buckled his other knee. But so he did grab the right one. In regards
to grabbed the right knee. It was just, anyway. Never mind. Go on. Sorry.
But like in regards to the match, like I just love Samoa Joe beating down Wardlow. I bet I'm like, oh, when he got the powerbomb, I was like, oh crap, really? Are they gonna make Wardlow conquering all this stuff? But when Joe took him down with that friggin' sweep, I was like, damn, right? And then he put the coquina clutch on him. I was like, yeah, I need Joe to be my TV champion forever, because this is awesome, right? Again, the big man tried. He did everything, Bill. He did everything he could. everything he could, and he just couldn't beat Samoa Joe. What's gonna happen to Wardlow now, right? I thought the ending, like Joe took everything from this guy, man. Like you're gonna talk about the ending after, but like what, like I was like,
Yep.
holy crap, all right, we're going there, okay. But
Yep.
yeah, like again, this wasn't my favorite match of the night, but I thought I liked it. I enjoyed this match, and I guess I really enjoyed Joe winning this match because I
Yes.
think, again, as I said, Joe should be the TV champion
Yeah.
forever.
Well, I didn't hate the match, and I'll tell you why. Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, yeah.
I mean, Samoa
Yeah.
Joe saved this match, man.
He's
The
so
guy is
good.
vicious as hell. He's
Mm-hmm.
great doing like those attacks on the knee and stuff like that. For all of Wardlow's absolutely wretchedly bottom level selling he did at the end of this match. And I mean bottom level. Dude, you need to go back to selling school and take a course. Go watch some Mayu Iwatani matches or some Utami Hayashita matches. Watch how they sell, learn to do it. It's important in wrestling to sell. And you know what? You did well for half the match. You did really well for half the match. Credit where it's due. But somewhere in there, you just kind of went, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to have a bad knee, but I got to hit my stuff. I can't have this match without hitting my stuff. I've got to be what? No, dude. When that happens, you stop hitting your stuff. You find other ways to hit your stuff. You find other moves to do. Maybe the problem is he doesn't have a lot of moves he
He
can then
doesn't.
go
He
go
doesn't have a lot
to,
of
and he
moves.
only
No.
has these moves,
Yeah.
right? So he's like, oh, I gotta hit my stuff, dude. No, you don't. Go find something else to wrestle with, because at that point, for all the stuff we've dumped on CM Punk for that press conference, that dude knows how to sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see him get an arm taken out, he stops using the
The
arm,
arm. Yeah.
right? So that is realistic selling. What we saw tonight was not. But you know what was realistic? Samoa Joe's beat down,
Oh
and
my
that
god.
saved this match for me. The fact that Samoa Joe won it, the way he won it, so good, so good. And then we move into the after thing. Joe seems to show him some respect at the end. So he goes, oh, yeah, yeah, respect. And then smashes him in the head with the titles. He then shoves the ref down. He goes and gets a pair of scissors and he cuts off Wardlow's man bun
Blunt.
in one of my favorite moments in all of wrestling this year. I mean, we're doing our best of next week, and I can guarantee you this will at least be on my honorable mention list. Wardlow's man bun gets chopped off, and Samoa Joe becomes one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW.
Yeah.
Then
What?
Darby
What?
Allin's
What?
music hits,
Yeah.
and for some reason, Joe then becomes really dumb and decides that a person can only enter from the ramp and refuses to turn around and look around for someone else. And Darby smashes him back with the skateboard, and then that's the night.
Yeah. I'm assuming that Wardlow is going to be gone for a little bit, probably a month or so, maybe vacation, whatever is coming up. But yeah, I love Joe just taking he took everything. He took his hair away from him. I was like, holy crap, this guy literally just cut off his man bun. I'm like, thank you, Joe, thank you so much for cutting off that stupid man bun. And then it was weird when Darby Allin came from the save. I was like, that Darby Allin match against Joe was absolutely phenomenal. So I want to see the round two on
Yep.
what's going to happen. Because Darby, as we know, will throw his body at Joe and Joe will just beat the crap out of him. So that's something I want to see. So good save there. And yeah, just Joe, just this guy. This
Yep.
guy is so awesome.
Yep. I'm glad you've finally been sold on Samoa Joe. I
Oh
was
yeah,
trying to tell you how great he was back when
100%.
he first came. And now you've seen these. All he needed was the right moment to
Yeah,
shine. There you go. So yeah,
100%. This guy's so good.
this is Samoa Joe working at some of his heel best.
Oh
So
yeah.
so yeah, he's way more effective as a heel.
Oh yeah,
Way more.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, no, this was good. So anything on this match for you reach the Omega, or this match, the night reached the Omega level?
Actually, I watching this entire show, I'm gonna say the entire show will get the Omega level rating for me. It was quite a good show. Like overall, like this sometimes beats some of the pay-per-view matches that were friggin' on like they have, right? Like this the way that the show was, you're right, like it wasn't all elite talking. Today it was like all elite wrestling. They started off with a wrestling match. The Danielson match was so awesome, followed up by the match between Top Flight and Mox. And again, runner up for the match of the night. That match was freaking amazing, right? Like pushing these young guys, and then whew, the elite and Death Triangle. again, always these guys never bet against the Elite and Death Triangle. These just these guys. Like even after the bad news that Dragon Lee had signed with WWE, I was like, oh, and then I'm like, man, we have Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. and Roosh. I'm like, yep, it's okay, go ahead. But man, these guys, and hey, as I said, the women's match, it was a little bit shaky here and there, but I enjoyed it. I thought it played a perfect tag team heel versus face kind of match. It was good to see Soho back in the ring, which is great. And then at the end, like Samoa Joe just taking everything. Like, think about Wardlow. You were at the top of the mountain, which they're like, Wardlow with his 164-day reign. And you wrestled like 3 times. Let's be real here. You wrestled for that belt 3 times in that 164 days. Joe's been wrestling consistently, beating, and Samoa Joe took you down. What a moment that him Joe just standing there, just holding that clump of hair. I was like, yo, this show,
Awesome.
this show. Like, again, yeah, you're right. There were some backstage segments where like who cares, but everything, like the wrestling in this show made up for everything. That's why I have to give it an Omega level rating here.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we had 3 matches on this show that could have been match of the night on any Dynamite.
Yeah.
3. And I mean, because poor Ethan Page and Bryan Danielson, by the end of the night, it's like that amazing match we opened with gets almost forgotten.
I know,
right?
I know.
But I mean, what an opener. So you go from that, which could have been match of the night, and then it gets topped by the next match, and then topped by the next match. It's like, wow, like when that happens. And then, in spite of all of my complaints about Wardlow selling, like I said, Joe saves the match. And then that moment at the end to go off and holding a clump of hair. Oh, when he cut that bun off, I was so happy.
He warned him. He warned him to enjoy your holidays, right?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, Joe speaks the truth.
He does.
So, yep,
he does.
Wardlow asked for action. He got action.
Words. So words.
Joe doesn't just speak words, people. He backs them up.
He does.
But yeah. No, that was an absolutely great Dynamite. I really enjoyed myself. Best Dynamite we've had, I think, in a couple of weeks. So
while, yeah.
So yeah, it's very good, very happy. Yep. So we got coming up next week. We got our best of show coming up shortly. Within not too long after we post this podcast, there will be my review of Stardom Dream Queendom 2022. I could not convince Krishna to do this one with me because he's too busy just mooning over Melt here. So unfortunately, that's fine. But then next week as well, January 4th, we've got Wrestle Kingdom 17. And you and I will be getting together. We will be watching that show. And then we will be reviewing that show and hopefully not come to fisticuffs.
Well, actually, listen, I'm going to give you some hope here, okay, for your guy, Will, who, again, as I said, I keep saying Will Ospreay quickly became my second favorite wrestler, right? Second, which is great. I mean, there's only one Kenny Omega, but I give you some hope here, and it's not even hope. Like, Kenny's been getting a lot of the W's recently, which bodes well for Will going into Wrestle Kingdom, because yes, remember, Kenny's been talking a big talk. He's going to save New Japan. I have a feeling that yes, this is going to be the start of a series of matches.
Oh, thank God!
And I think that Will's going to beat Kenny for the first.
Well, yeah, no, I know, and for all of my jawing and stuff too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kenny Omega. So yeah, I can't wait, dude. Less than a week now, and we will be watching Kenny Omega taking on Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom.
And Jay White versus Okada.
And Jay White versus Okada. You are correct.
How do you top
even
that?
better, FTR taking on Bishamon.
Okay, but anyway, we'll get more into that probably next week. But like, I just don't know how you don't put. I get it, New Japan. You have to put your heavyweight championship match at the ending. But how do you put it with Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay going at it? Like, how do you not put that match last?
Yeah. Well, it smacks to me of when they had Wrestle Kingdom a few years back. It was Nakamura and Kota Ibushi, I think, were in the second to main event and just tore the house down. Right. And it was Okada versus Tanahashi, I think, in the main event. And though it was a really good match, it wasn't Nakamura and Ibushi level. Right. So
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, it has happened before. It's just kind of what they do, right? So but hey, the people will be there to see Okada.
They will. That's very
Yep.
because
I'm
it isn't it is the memorial match, right? The he's dedicated this match to uh
Antonio Inoki.
Antonio Inoki,
Yeah, if
yeah.
he's dedicated the match to Antonio Inoki, we know who's winning too. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
exactly.
it's the problem with this whole match, actually. Like, it's just so telegraphed who's winning that match. Like, unless they're going to tell some story of Okada suddenly being a failure, there's no way. It's possible, but there's no way he's losing that match. So, I mean, whereas the Omega Osprey match could go either way.
Yeah.
There is a legit story to tell with either side. So yeah,
I think I
it's
think New Japan should just like print some t-shirts just saying we're here for Omega and Osprey.
they really should. By the way, they have a New Japan Kenny Omega shirt.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So my assumption is that then the New Japan AEW I guess dealings or
Yeah.
partnership is continuing
Yeah,
as
but
far
you
as
know
we
what's
know.
weird about this entire Wrestle Kingdom there, eh? I mean,
Mhm.
we also have what's his face?
Don't say
Really
Carl
terrible
Anderson.
dude.
Don't say Carl Anderson. I'm
Carl
gonna hate.
Anderson, he's on the
Oh
show
my
too.
god. No, no.
So we have the first show in history combining New Japan, AEW, and WWE and Stardom.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Four
Yep.
promotions. Okay. All
Hmm.
right. That
Four
must be a record for
promotions.
something, right?
It's got to be the first. I mean, well, it's clearly the first time since AEW's formation that AEW, AEW and WWE have shared a promotion or
I guess
shared an
so.
event where
I guess
one of
so.
their guys is both in the same event. So yeah, very interesting. Of course, Carl Anderson versus Tamatanga, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. That's all I have to say.
Can they have like those matches be like maybe 5 minutes and that's it? Like the
2 minutes.
Tamatanga and
Oh,
Carl.
there have been 30-second matches. So
Okay,
I mean,
30
like
seconds.
we
Hey,
can we can we
30
can hope
seconds.
it's like
Yeah.
Danielson and Sheamus there from WrestleMania a
Oh
few years
no.
back.
Oh God. But what they did to you, Bryan Danielson. Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
What they did to you. And look at the
Pre-show
matches he's
eight
having
second
now.
defeat. I
Oh
know.
my
Well,
God.
that's because you see, here's the thing. AEW appreciates something called
Wrestling.
wrestling. So yeah. Anyway, speaking of wrestling, it is time for us to go. I don't know why speaking of wrestling makes it time for us to go, but anyway. Um man, as the great one always says, and as he said at the end of his interview with New Japan this week, goodbye, everybody. Mwah! And good night. Bang.